You'll be whatever you want. A knight in shining armor, or a magic spell caster. Roll the dice, hoping for a 20 might get the one. The Clash of Krits can turn the tide of the battle. The Dungeon Master has saved the tale for us. Let's start this journey together. Ignite the fire and cast your spell. Trust your swords straight into your foes. We have the strength to overcome all the challenges ahead. Embark on adventures, endless journey beyond reality, into the darkest dungeon that waiting for us. Pushing forward and level up. We'll finish what we have started. Clash of Krits.
Hi, welcome to Clash of Krits. I am your host, but today I am not a dungeon master. Today we are going to be interviewing with a very special guest. As you know from our Cyberpunk miniseries that we are fans of R.Talisorian games, and we are lucky enough to get the creator of their new system called Shadowscar by Cody Ponsmith. Cody, tell us about Shadowscar.
Howdy. So, Shadowscar is a game of intrigue and espionage that takes place over a multiverse of worlds. You play secret agents trained in ninjutsu, sent out into these worlds to hunt down monsters of Japanese mythology before they can cause havoc across the multiverse.
That sounds pretty cool. And how did you come up with Shadowscar? Like, what all inspired it?
So Shadowscar has been a really long time in the making. The original concept goes back to when I was like 11. Me and my friend were massive Naruto fans. And so one night at a sleepover, we were playing Naruto Ultimate Ninja 1 and thought, wouldn't it be amazing if there was a Naruto game? So we started working on that. And of course, it didn't go anywhere because we were 11. But that initial idea started to evolve and change and eventually sort of became, over many years, became sort of the Shadowscar that I know, which still has a lot of those influences from Naruto, as well as a lot of other anime that I've watched over my lifetime, I guess.
Man, that's got to be something that you created that you started when you were a kid, and then now it's actually come to fruition.
It is definitely something. I never really thought I was going to get this far, but, you know.
How did you get involved in the RPG business?
So I work for a family company. So I got introduced to the industry kind of the same way I got introduced to role playing in general, which was I stumbled across old product of ours and got interested in that. It kind of grew from there, playing games with my dad, Mike Ponsmith, and my friends. We started out playing Teenagers from Outer Space, which is a great game for younger kids. And eventually I played Cyberpunk and Mechton and a lot of our old classic games. I got into the industry through working on Witcher. So we made the Witcher tabletop role-playing game in conjunction with CD Projekt Red. And this all came about because, we were doing video game stuff with them. They came to us asking about Cyberpunk so they could do 2077. And while they were working on that, they said, do you guys want to do the Witcher tabletop role-playing game? We're in the market. We wanted to ask you before we asked anybody else. So are you interested? And at that time, I was a big Witcher fan. I had played Witcher 2, and I was sort of reading through the books and getting into the world. And so, Mike asked me, was I interested in doing this? And I said, yeah, absolutely. So my introduction to the game industry itself was pitching and making the tabletop role-playing game for the Witcher series.
That's awesome. I'm a huge fan of The Witcher as well, so like I would be excited. I get it. I'd be just excited to do something like that. And you've been with it your entire life. How has it been, would you say, to work at R.Talisorian?
Oh, it's great. There's ups and downs as with everything, and there's a lot of ups and downs to role-playing game creation. There's definitely come and goes of parts of the job you like and parts of the job you don't. But I'm getting to do what I love for a living, so that's always amazing. We have a really good team at R.Tal. It's small, but got some really dedicated people who have a lot of really good skills. So it's a lot of fun to embark on projects and work on stuff with everybody, kind of moving towards making the best product we can.
We've enjoyed everything that you guys have put out so far. And even now, when it comes to Shadowscar, something that I'm curious about is how would you explain your dice system on how it works?
So Shadowscar works on the Mosaic system, which is a D6 dice pool system. The way it basically works is if you want to perform a task, take an action, something like that, the GM gives you a target number, say for instance 4. And then you take a number of dice equal to your statistic, a number of dice equal to a skill, whatever is appropriate for the check, and you roll all of those. Anything that comes up higher than a 3 is a success. Anything that comes up as a 6 is 2 successes, and you're aiming to meet or beat the target number. So that's the very core foundation of it, and there's levels on top of that. One of the ones that I always bring up is the Inyo system. Inyo being kind of the push and pull of the universe in Japanese myth. Basically, if you fail a roll by 1 success, you can activate your Inyo to gain that extra success that you needed to succeed at the check. But in doing that, you hand over your connection Inyo to the game master, the storyteller, and you cannot use it again until the storyteller uses it to either lower your number of successes by 1 so that you fail a check you would have succeeded, or to deal extra damage to you, because dealing extra damage is another thing you can burn Inyo to do.
It's kind of like a whole like Gig Gang thing you get like in a give and take.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And like when you decided to use this dice system, and when you were in the process of creating all the things, what were the things that you were looking for when you were creating Shadowscar?
I was looking for something that felt appropriate to the game. Something that was heavily focused on stealth, a bit of puzzle solving, something that ran quickly and smoothly, but still gave amount of the sort of cinematic approach to combat and interaction. But really, 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 I wanted to make sure that it was as approachable as possible. I found that there can be a pretty big barrier to entry based on how complex a game is and how difficult it is to learn. So I really wanted to make sure that Shadowscar was as easy to learn as possible without sacrificing any of the complexity or fun of the game, so that anybody could pick it up and kind of get started playing very quickly.
Yeah, for sure. I could definitely see that. When all this was being created and when you went through all these processes, you created clans, right? And so what's, I guess my next question out of it would be like, what sparked these different clans? Well, like what gave these ideas on how these clans work and what they represent?
So these also go back to the deep dark days of Shadowscar. Initially, there were 4 clans. The 3 of them were based on actual schools of ninjutsu in bygone eras, the Iga, the Koga, the Fuma, and I took the aspects of those clans and took them a little bit farther into more of a fantasy mythos kind of zone. So I took things that they were known for and kind of took it one step further and tried to carry forward sort of some of the history of that. So it started out with that, and then the last clan was always this imperial clan put together by the empire, which was kind of put in place to sort of police the other clans, because there's a tremendous amount of rivalry and bad blood between different shinobi clans in Japanese history and therefore in Shadowscar. And that evolved. So we eventually came to where we are now, where we have 6 clans. And there are the original 4. So there's the Hibana, who focus heavily on poison and artificing with fire magic. taken partially in aspects from like the Iga's known use of fire and poison and the like. The Wanami, who are monster hunters and known for fighting with animal companions and using nature magic to trip up their foes, who were originally sort of based on the Koga clan of shinobi. The Arashi, who are sort of the black sheep of the Shadowscar agency, who have curses and storm magic, and are kind of a collection of thieves and criminals and pirates, much like their sort of original concept being the Fuma clan. Then there are the Kuromaku, who were what that sort of imperial school evolved to be, who focus heavily on sort of keeping order. They are the infiltrators and assassins, and really very much the most secret agent of the Shadowscar schools. And then along with those, we added two more. That being the Tante, who originally had some ties to the Kumogakure, which is another one of the old classic shinobi schools. But they have this heavy focus on infiltration and stealing technology and things like that, being able to erase people's minds, things like that. And the Futsumashi, who were based heavily in sort of this swordsman mysticism, with a combination of sort of spiritual magic and extreme sword skill, to be sort of this warrior monk kind of aesthetic. So they all kind of evolved. A lot of them coming from older ideas or earlier time periods, often based on actual history of ninjutsu.
Man, I'm sure that took a lot of research. Do you know like how long would you say like you researched all that kind of stuff?
It took a long time. Like I said, I've been working on this for a very long time, but when we kind of shifted into full gear on it, I spent a very long time studying the different shinobi clans and their history and things like that, and trying to relate what it would be like in this sort of fantasy version of Japan. And I kept a lot of those ideas, moved into sort of their final iteration, basically trying to keep the same shinobi idea, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And because you said you've been working on this for so long, when would you say this exactly like took off from the ground? Like when was it like official that like, okay, it's time to really work this out and like flesh this out?
I say it was about a year and a half ago, was when we really started kicking into full gear on it.
It's pretty impressive for a year and a half with everything that you've collected. I mean, like I know you said that you've been slowly working on it for a large portion of your life, but it's still very, very impressive for everything that you've created.
A lot of it is interesting because it fully kicked into gear about a year and a half, 2 years ago. But up till then, I had been doing a lot of design on it in my free time. So a lot of the foundation of what would be the game that we have now was kind of written by me in my spare time whenever I had a few minutes to work on the game design, on my home laptop or when I was getting, work done at the office. So it was a pretty long period of development that happened before we sort of fully kicked into gear on it.
Was it like, I don't know, like a kind of a nerve-wracking thing at one point when you're like trying to officially like start presenting like, hey guys, I have this idea that I've been working on for X amount of time and everything like that? Because like me and Chappie, us being like weebs ourselves, we came up with like a small Naruto-esque themed like game system for ourselves so we can all like play something, and even that was nerve-wracking, and it was just to our own personal friends, So how was it presenting essentially something that you've worked on for ever?
It was difficult. Some of it was helped by the fact that I kind of done that a few times in the past. Because I've been working on this project for such a long time, a lot of people that I work with were kind of familiar with it because I talked about it in the past. But still, it was tricky because, it is on one hand, it's a new franchise that has no backing at all. So I had to prove that it was something that could make money and, be a full line. And there's also a certain amount of testing and changing that had to come with making it a full line because, you know, there were aspects of it that in my sort of personal games and that sort of circumstance um, could work, but wouldn't really work in the larger,
Right.
scope of it being a line. There were some changes that had to be made to make it, I want to say more marketable, but, more of a finished product with a clear, vision or what have you. Which did necessitate some changes of things that, had been long standing in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine, when you go through those kind of things, and even when it comes to like homebrew stuff, things get like switched around, and you're like, no, it was like this, but then it's definitely a balance, I'm sure, when it came to creating stuff like that. And like, since you've put so much time into this, and you even put so much time into all these clans, would you say you have a favorite one?
See, that's tricky. My answer to that is generally the Tante. I love the Tante a lot because they're one of the places that we got to break the sort of not the tradition, but we got to break the sort of standard mold of the clans. All of the shinobi clans are in opposition to the yokai, who are these magical monsters that are currently the enemy in Shadowscar, the core enemy. So all of the schools are devoted to stopping these monstrous creatures from causing chaos. But the Tante are the most aware that these monsters are causing a real problem because they are possessed by this otherworldly force and sort of turned into these semi-mindless monsters. So where the other schools are heavily focused on stopping the yokai, killing them, ending their reign of terror, what have you, the Tante are dedicated to trying to find some way, searching through ancient texts, experimenting, and trying to find some way to save the yokai from this force that is controlling them. So it was fun to kind of build a clan that was, would be kind of considered, painfully naive to a lot of the other schools because they're trying to help these monsters, but at the same time, they have this, sort of grand goal that they're working towards. That if they could ever succeed, would functionally end the war, but it's just the problem. They have no idea how they could actually achieve this goal.
Nice. Kind of a little bit off topic because we were talking about clans and we talked about Naruto. Just out of curiosity, do you have like a favorite Naruto clan in the show, or anime or manga, whichever one you do?
I've always thought the Hyuga were cool.
They are. That they are.
I like the Byakugan, and I like the 8 trigram palms. I like the gentle fist techniques. It's generally I like the Hyuga quite a lot.
I get it. Hugo is pretty cool, especially even how they've evolved from it. So like after creating these clans, like these classes, and then the combat and like with the yokai and everything like that, how hard would you say it was to try to have some relative balance within the system itself?
It was tricky, and it still is tricky. I spent a lot of time working, both on my own and with one of the other designers here at R.Talisorian, James Hutt, trying to balance all the schools against each other because, obviously we want to make sure that the classes as we have them are balanced and each provide something interesting and different. And then building the yokai was tricky because we're trying to create enemies that are somewhat balanced. The trickiest part being that Shadowscar is not exactly like a combat simulator. So there are aspects of the enemy that are, many of them entirely unrelated to combat. There are abilities that they have that are, non-combat focused. And the level of danger is in many ways kind of variable because there is the assassination action, which allows you to roll stealth checks and attack checks to automatically kill enemies who are unaware of you. So it can be kind of difficult because an enemy that has, really high armor and a lot of hit points can be taken out very quickly if it doesn't have good awareness or if you are out maneuvering it. So trying to create balanced enemies for that system was kind of tricky, and it'd come down to, assuming what happens if you do not, assassinate this enemy and have to fight it, head on. But knowing that that's not a super common occurrence. Like, you will have outright combat, but it's not the primary goal. In theory, much like more stealth focused games like the Tenchu series, you are aiming to assassinate all your targets, to not be seen, to remain in the shadows, and not really go into open combat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I could say for how my players tend to handle their situations. I don't know if I'd say that they are really stealthy or not. I mean, you guys can give your own input on that if you want, Chappy or Droppa.
I'm just saying it's stealth when nobody else survives. That's it. That's all.
We have a saying in my Shadowscar group. If at first you don't succeed, leave no witnesses.
Yeah, there you go.
It works 100% of the time.
And you said that with your Shadowscar people, are you like running any actual like home games campaigns or anything like that at the moment while you guys are doing all this?
I'm not currently running a home game. I've run a number of home games in the past, which were a ton of fun. All the way back to earlier eras of Shadowscar before it was the game we know now. It's been a tremendous amount of fun to have everybody I know have some story of some time they were in a Shadowscar game.
Just out of curiosity, do you have any kind of like memorable like moment or instance that you can elaborate on during any of those times?
I have a lot of horror stories.
Well, I mean, we like horror.
That works too.
Hell yeah.
I had a game this was early on in the game, pretty close after the very start, and it I think typifies both sort of how you have to think about Shadowscar and how you can't think about Shadowscar and be successful, because none of my players, or at least two of my players, were really unfamiliar with stealth gameplay. So they had this mission, which was to infiltrate this headquarters, dockside warehouse in 5th Street, in our sort of 1920s setting in New York, and take out the enemy there and keep them from finishing their goal, basically completing their mission. At this point, I don't recall what the mission even was, but I had these two players who came out of the gate swinging, one of whom really was into the like superpower aspects of the game. And they had this ability, Wind's Leap, that allowed them to like super leap, like force jump type thing. And so middle of the night, luckily, in New York, they were just like leaping across the skyline. Like no attempt to be stealthy, just like leaping from building to building, completely visible from the street until they ran out of keys. So they no longer had the mana, quote unquote, to pull off this spell.
Mm-hmm.
But they had an ability that allowed them to drain mana out of opponents.
Uh-oh.
So at some point they're like, "Is there anybody around me?" And I was like, "Yeah, there's somebody down on the street." And so they aim to land on this person, like completely unsuspecting civilian, from a height. And they do it. They fully Assassin's Creed onto this random person.
Did you make like the eagle sound and all that?
Yeah. And then they use this magic they have to drain ki out of them. I'm just watching this, like, you just You just effectively murdered a civilian so that you could continue jumping across the New York skyline. Like, what are you doing?
He needed that key.
You murder one to save millions.
Or to
And
say
then
hi to
the other
birds.
one that was great was the other player in that game had more of like a samurai background. So they decided that to get to this location in 5th Street, they were going to, in full armor, with their sword, ride a warhorse through the streets of New York to get to the enemy. So they do this, just like blazing through the streets of New York on their warhorse in full samurai armor, drawing all the attention he possibly can. And he gets to the warehouse and does this cool, pulls up, has his horse, rear and kick down the doors of the warehouse, and makes a ton of noise. And all the enemies inside the warehouse who are like moving crates and stuff, all like turn around, see him, pull out guns, and start lighting him up.
I get it.
With him and the horse just taking all this gunfire. And the other, I think, 2 members of the party got there pretty much unscathed without killing anybody and were able to join the fray in a stealthier manner. So I've learned that you have to really understand when you're playing a Shadowscar game that you are playing a stealth game.
Well, that's definitely something, and definitely an interesting way to go about it. I can't say that we have generally played stealth like with our things. So even when we did like our Naruto thing, they weren't stealthy. So
Never.
So it's been roughly what, like 5-6 months since Shadowscar has been officially out. How would you say it's grown since?
So far response has been really positive. People are very interested. We have a lot of people asking when the core rulebook is coming out, which is always good to see. The interest is there and people are excited for it. We are almost done with that and are releasing this year. So I'm very excited to see how people will react when they get a hold of the core rules. But we've already seen some action on our personal Discord lines for Shadowscar. People have started making third-party content, homebrew stuff. So it's very heartening to see the reaction.
And I guess I'd hate to be like those people as well, but I know you said this year, but do you guys have like a closer date and a closer idea of around what month?
My goal is early-ish, so maybe towards March, April, but I can't really say anything because we're terrible about calling dates and then having to push back later because something didn't come out appropriately.
Right.
We're waiting on a lot of art right now, so hard to say for certain, but this year.
With all this, do you guys have any more conventions or events you're excited for when this comes out officially, when the rule book or the core rule book comes out?
So we're very excited about Gen Con this year. That's kind of our big con that we go to. And it'll be really interesting to see people's sort of response to Shadowscar and be able to run more games and see people picking up the core rulebook and all that basically.
For sure. And I know I'm going to be excited for it as well. So one of our Clash of Krits crew members couldn't make it today, but he has always been interested in the rumor of a secret 7th clan. Is there anything that you can elaborate on that?
I mean, that entirely depends. There has never really been a 7th clan, but there is a 7th place you can learn ninjutsu. There is what's called the Hollow Eye Syndicate, which is a criminal syndicate made up entirely of rogue Shadowscar agents. So it's members of the agency who went rogue for any number of reasons, ranging from trying to escape punishment for war crimes to wanting to use the powers they were given by the agency to, do things like get personal revenge on people or go after targets that the agency wouldn't approve of them going after. And this sort of association work loosely together to sort of protect each other's interests from the agency trying to hunt them down. And one of the cool things about the syndicate is that because no member of the syndicate particularly cares about the sort of codes of secrecy among the different clans in Shadowscar, they will willingly teach each other the techniques and magic of their clans, leading to syndicate members having a mixture of different abilities from different clans.
That's pretty cool.
That's sick. It's like the Akatsuki, but better.
Yeah. Hopefully there isn't a mole in this Shadow Syndicate that's actually there to help everybody else. But, you never know. Oh, well, I mean, I can definitely say that Shadowscar is definitely interesting, and I love the lore of it. I love the different concept of the characters and classes, and I know we talked a little bit about jumping into something small just to try to like demo it out. And if that's something that you are still interested in doing, we'd love to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
So we have here the little booklet that you guys gave out at Gen Con, and there are these preset characters, and we have all selected one. Me, and I'm sure you can explain these characters a lot better than I would be able to, or we would be able to if you don't mind. I chose Hugo Roth.
So Hugo is our Wanami shinobi from 5th Street. He is a troubled man with a lot of traumatic memories from fighting in World War I, who was trained in the Wanami as a killer of monsters and executes his mission with a stern and swift hand.
Sounds about right. The art is cool as well. That much I could say for all this. What was like your guys' inspiration when it came to like the actual art style?
So the art style for all the characters and all the yokai is my sister, Dolan Ponsmith. And we had a combination of sort of a more traditional anime aesthetic combined with her traditional art style, which seems to draw a lot on, more Western animes like Avatar, Last Airbender, and the new Voltron show and stuff like that.
Awesome. Yeah, I love it. And Chappie, do you want to talk about who you chose?
I chose Osamu Okada. I hope I said that right.
That is correct. Osamu is the swift, fast talker of the group. He is a wanderer with a silver tongue who joined the Kuromaku clan as a way to see the multiverse and experience all the experiences that can be had there. He is smooth and charismatic and good at talking his way out of situations.
And Droppa, what about you?
Please correct me because I feel like I messed this up. I'm gonna play Satoshi Asano.
Satoshi is a cool one. He joined the agency out of necessity, having been saved by an agent from being killed by an Oni, and wanting to become stronger so that he would never be in that situation again. He is a master of poisons and stealth, who has fire magic to help him sort of make his way through combat situations, but has a real focus on poisoning the enemy from afar.
Feeling real Sasuke Uchiha like.
Looking at just these character sheets, I see that there is a rank system. Like it seems like everybody is a genin. So is there like an actual like reputation of a character when it comes to their rank?
So your rank is your rank within the agency. And as you do more missions, you raise your requisition rating, which determines what gear you can requisition from the agency armory and how much of it you can, but also determines your rank within the agency. There are 3 ranks, Genin, Chunin, and Jonin, which should be familiar for anybody who knows Naruto.
Yeah.
Or just generally ninja lore. And at each of these different levels, you unlock new abilities and magic from your clan, and access to new artifacts, magical artifacts that you can take into the field.
Sounds really sweet. Now, since you know which characters, the 3 characters we were playing, are we cooked? Are we?
You've got a face. You've got 2 fairly good combatants. You got somebody with poison. So no, I mean, I generally tried to work it out so that the nice part about it being not as much of a combat simulator is just about any combination you have will work if you know how to play it.
Cool. Awesome.
Well, we're going to find out.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so if you guys are ready, and Cody, if you're ready, you can take it away in however way you would want.
Awesome. Okay, so the 3 of you are what's called a strike team. You are a small group of agents sent out into the field to hunt down enemies, foil their plans, and in certain circumstances, protect the multiverse at large or members of the multiverse from the ravages of the enemy. You are all linked together by a set of tattoos. One at the ear, which allows you to hear your other members' thoughts. One on the tongue, which allows you to project your thoughts to your other members. And one at the eye, which allows you to share your vision with the person who called your handler, the one who is in charge of giving you missions and being your support when you're in the field. You have not been a strike team for very long. You are all Genin and you are pretty fresh out of training. But you have been given your second or third mission so far, so you've got your feet under you a little bit, but you're still relatively new to it. The 3 of you come together in one of the briefing rooms in the agency headquarters, where you find your handler, Benjiro. As you enter, you are there for your briefing. Tell me how you enter the briefing room.
I think Hugo would enter the briefing room very professional. He would, being from a man of war, I think he would walk in straight-laced. He would look at Benjiro, give him a head nod, and then sit right at his desk, sitting up straight entirely, almost kind of stoic.
Asano will walk into the room more kind of relaxed, but still on guard. Like, he trusts everybody, but he's just waiting for something to happen or pop off.
And Osamu would be casually strutting around in there, a little bit flamboyant, hitting people with finger guns, and then he goes up and goes to knuckle up our handler, and then sits down.
All right. Benjiro responds well. He's known you for long enough to know this whole situation. As you all sit, he says, "All right, agents, we have another mission for you. This one's a bit complicated. Agency members across 5th Street have noted disappearances, many of them happening across Chicago. So far, none of these missing people have been found. Unfortunately, the most recent to disappear seems to have disappeared under unfortunate circumstances. We have a crime scene. Enough blood that it might be lethal, but no body. 3 of you are going to investigate and try to find out what happened. We have only a vague idea of how the enemy might be involved, mostly because the wounds that seem to have been inflicted, the blood spatter, it lines up with claws rather than a knife or a bullet wound. Got a bit of a hunch here, so you're going to be investigating that hunch."
Hugo would look at Benjiro, and then he would say, "So we're thinking another yokai coming out?"
That's very likely. We can't be certain exactly which, but like I said, the blood spatter we're seeing lines up. There's also been reports of claw marks in the walls near the scene of the scuffle.
Sounds like we got a baddie on our hands.
What happens if we run into interference? Can we take them out?
human interference from civilians, as per usual. Try to get them out of the situation as quickly as possible. We suggest that you do that in as non-lethal a way as possible, but if circumstances become interminable, you are authorized to use force. As far as yokai, our standards apply here. Any yokai you encounter should be killed.
Hugo would then ask, if we're going into Chicago, do we know what is the season going to be like? Because that could be a big factor on the people around.
It's currently the depths of winter.
Is there a contact that we're going to meet that has more information on the crime scene?
We've made contact with a Detective Willis, who is currently investigating the scene. He's a member of the agency, even if only as a minor member, so he can be trusted. He'll give you what information he has.
Hugo would nod his head, and then he would stand up, and he would look at his other two companions.
You ready to blow this pop stand?
I'm ready whenever you guys are.
Okay. I think we would all look to Benjiro and say that we're ready to go.
For this mission, you shouldn't be requiring anything from the armory, so we'll have you deploy directly.
Let me stop. Let me stop and grab my coat real quick.
You are set out from the briefing room, down through the agency headquarters, and into the central gatehouse, where you come into this large, almost Zen garden style atrium with a number of tall black torii gates centered around the room. Through each one, you can see the view of a different world. You're sent to gate 5, and you come to the front of this large, imposing black gate, through which you can see the scene of what looks to be a perhaps smoky back room of some form of club. Stepping through, you feel nothing, no gut-churning drop, no flash of light. You just appear on the other side in a smoke-filled back room.
What kind of music is this club playing?
Currently, you are hearing swing.
I think Hugo would fix his tie up and probably have a sort of a familiarity with where he's around. And we're in a back room. Is there anybody that we see, or was this just smoke filled from the rest of the establishment?
It is smoke filled from the rest of the establishment.
Hugo would look to his other two. You ready to get this going? We got to meet the detective.
Always ready.
I mean, we could finish this song out. As he starts snapping his finger and like kind of dancing a little bit.
You never make Joni with that attitude.
Man, why you always gotta bring me down, bro?
As they're bickering, Hugo would exit the room to get closer to where the sound is.
You step out of the back room into a fully packed, large sort of lounge area. You see people of all types listening to this big brass band. People are drinking, people are talking. You see some blackjack tables perhaps over in one corner. You are in a relatively popular Shadowscar agency-run speakeasy at the moment. Right on the Loop in Chicago, so not far from where you need to be.
I think Hugo would maybe just go try to grab a drink really quick just to try to like ease the nerves and then be ready on his way.
You gonna join him in a drink?
I want to throw on my Shinobi Suzuko.
Shojoku?
Yeah.
Okay, so you are going fully in ninja gear.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's nighttime, so that helped. Now, with just the hint of a buzz, you step out into the cool, or, well, far more than cool,
Yes.
frigid winter air. You see snow beginning to fall, and you know you were about a block down. It does not take much time to get there. One of you is fully kitted out, though. I assume you're sticking to the shadows as much as possible.
Yes, 100%. Can I be like their eyes in the sky, like running through, like on the rooftop, or no?
It's not difficult to climb up to the rooftops. It's still 1920 Chicago, so you're not scaling as many skyscrapers. So you are eyes in the sky. Are you looking for anything in particular?
I want to like observe around me and like look at the people and see if any people are like disappearing or like acting suspicious, trying to get into complete darkness.
Okay. Go ahead and roll awareness for me. So that is going to be awareness plus your mind statistic. This isn't going to have a difficulty. This is just going to be a straight roll. The higher you roll, the more you notice.
So my mind is 3 red dots. So I just roll 1d6 and add 3.
No, you roll 3d6. And then add a number of d6 equal to the number of points you have in awareness.
So it's everything that's above 3 counts as success.
Okay, so I got a 6, a 5, and a 4.
Oh, wow.
And my 1 dice of awareness, I got 3.
Okay, so that's pretty good. You've got a double success in there with the 6. You are aware. You are keeping track of everybody. It's a little bit difficult because there's a fair number of people on the streets, a few people in the alleys. You're not seeing anybody acting too suspicious. There are a few people who are kind of hurrying through the newly falling snow, trying to get places. You see a few people in an alley that you think there might be some bootlegging going on. They're obviously kind of almost back into the alley behind a few sort of large boxes. But you see the glint of a bottle kind of passing between them, so you're fairly certain that it's not as nefarious as it could be. The thing that really stands out to you, though, is that down one of the alleyways, as you're kind of approaching the building that you are going to for this crime scene, there is a shadow that's far too dark. There's just a slim shadow in the back of this alleyway that is black. It is not just dark. It is like the depths of space.
I'll refer that to my teammates. What direction you'll say it's in?
It's effectively off to your left, so you can think of it as if you're about maybe a half block away from the building where this crime went down. It's probably going to be about 100 feet from there, accessible from sort of a back area and dead-end alley.
Hugo would then respond, because we're communicating through these tattoos, correct? Like through the ears and through the tongue tattoos? Yes. So he would respond saying that since he's on the ground floor, he'll go check it out.
I got your back, Hugo.
So you pick your way through this sort of back alley area. There's maybe even more sort of trash and debris than you would expect. You're kind of picking your way through stuff, moving around large sort of like shipping crates, as you kind of push back to the back of this alley. From eyes in the sky, you can see no traps, nobody like coming out from around corners, not even anybody on the rooftops. It looks like this is pretty quiet. And as you reach the back of this alley, you see what Satoshi had seen from a distance, which is a large black gash almost floating in the air in front of you. It is completely black from the center outward, and you can see a number of small paper talismans that are sort of lining the outside of it. You are familiar enough with what you're seeing to know that this is a stabilized rift. Where agents of the Shadowscar Agency travel through gates, yokai have to travel through rifts, which are holes torn through the dimensions and often stabilized with totems to keep them from closing again. This rift goes somewhere else in the mosaic, though you won't be able to tell without looking into it.
Do you think that this is a rift that we should close up, or should we investigate further? It could be involved with the crime scene.
I'm imagining that this rift right here probably has something to do with the yokai we're after. Quick question. I have this homeland ability called Spirit Sight. Would that be able to help me with this situation?
It may.
Yeah.
You can activate your Spirit Sight. Doing so allows you to see the spirit world overlaid over the material world.
Sick.
You close your eyes for a moment and open them again with the full sight of your spirit vision. You see little bits of wisps here and there, nothing unusual for looking into the spirit world.
Okay.
The rift stands out even more starkly in this sort of almost higher contrast sight. You don't see anything through it. You wouldn't normally be able to anyway, but you do hear crying.
You hear that, Hugo?
No, I don't.
There's crying. Someone's crying.
Like a human crying?
Let me think into that.
Sounds like a woman crying. It is back down the alleyway a little bit.
It's coming from this direction. Let's go check it out real quick. Someone might be in trouble.
I would like to try I would like to drop down and stay close with him just in case.
You kind of creep back down the alleyway a bit, and Osamu, with your spirit vision, you are able to see the spirit of a young woman wearing a nice, fairly sensible dress with a polka dot pattern, short cropped hair, who is sitting just on sort of the periphery of this alleyway, crying. You can see her form beginning to sort of fade. Spirits do not stay in the spirit world very long after being separated from their mortal shell. They usually fade away into the afterlife, as it were, not too long after being killed.
There's a spirit of a young lady crying here. I'm assuming she must have passed very, very recently.
Can we communicate with spirits, or can any of us, like Osamu, would have that ability, or is that something that we all do?
You can all talk, and someone in the spirit world can hear you. Only Osamu can hear the responses.
I would approach the spirit. Hey, ma'am, what's going on? What happened to you?
She looks up with no small amount of surprise, and sees you kind of actually looking at her. She says, You can see me? You can hear me?
I take it you recently passed?
She kind of clutches at herself a little bit, sort of hugging herself, and nods, says, You think so? No one else can see me or hear me, or I can't touch anything. I don't know what's happening.
Do we, as in the organization we are in, do we have a better feeling of what the afterlife actually is like compared to a civilian like this?
So you know what the spirit world is like. Every agent is sent to the spirit world at some point so they know what it's like to be dead, and how to keep themselves from passing on. The spirit world is one thing, the afterlife is another, and the afterlife that all agents know about is the afterlife of Nakatsukuni, which is the core dimension that all of the agency comes from. And that afterlife rebelled against humanity several decades ago and is actively hostile to all life itself.
That's sweet. It's sweet as hell.
Creatures sent to the afterlife are usually twisted into horrible monstrosities that are then used as weapons against all living things.
Damn. Okay, so I understand that she probably doesn't have much time left before she passes on.
So what you can do, every Shadowscar agent or strike team is sent with what's called a spirit lantern.
Okay.
It is a small stone lantern that you can conceal or capture a spirit in. Only one spirit can be captured in a lantern at one time, but it keeps the spirit from passing on.
I would explain to her basically that she doesn't have that much time left before she passes on into the afterlife, I guess. And I would ask her if she would want to get into the spirit lantern to stay around a little bit so we can solve what happened to her.
Okay, she is a little out of her depth in this moment.
Yeah, for sure.
I want you to roll a manipulation check.
Alrighty. Manipulation.
Typically on this is going to be 2.
Okay. So let's see what we got.
Tell me what the craps you got.
We got 3 5s, a 1, and a 2.
Okay, that's going to do it. She nods, obviously trusting you in this moment.
Yeah.
You take out the lantern and open the aperture, and you see her spirit kind of into the lantern's core.
Okay.
Through the aperture, you can see a tiny version of her in this little lantern.
And I ask her, hey, can you hear me all right?
I can, yes. She's looking around kind of in awe at the lantern she's now in.
So I explained to her a little bit about, like, she obviously passed away, and there was only a couple minutes that I would have had to speak with her before she passed on to the next world. And I needed to get her in here so we could figure out what happened to her and to help prevent it from happening to anybody else.
She says, I don't remember everything, but it was terrible. Horrible thing.
Can Hugo and Satoshi see the spirit at this moment?
Yes, you can see it in the lantern.
Hugo would then say to Osamu, does she recall what the thing that attacked her looked like?
Through the lantern, you all are able to hear her.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
As she says, wasn't any bigger than a person, but it was this horrible green thing. Looked almost like a turtle, but it had these claws. I don't recall what it said, but it kind of like touches her neck and kind of grimaces.
You were around this area when it happened, or were you? And I would guess I would direct towards where the crime scene is at, or were you closer to there?
He says, yes, I was in that shop just there. I was there to meet someone. Maybe the monster. I don't know. I tried to chase after, took, I guess, my body, took it out here, and I tried, and there's just that thing, and she points towards the rift at the back of the alleyway.
Who are you here to meet?
It was a friend of mine. He's going to get me a new job. He's going to be doing it. It's not important. It was a friend I met not too long ago. Very kind. They asked me to meet them at this little office building. I wondered why, but they told me not to worry about it.
Where did you happen to meet this friend at?
She points kind of in the direction of down the road.
So close to here.
Down towards where the crime scene is. She nods. I didn't get very far, and they didn't take it very far. They just went through that thing, and I tried to go after them, but started coming apart. So I stopped.
Well, it seems like we should probably report this to Detective Willis to see anything else that he has information-wise, since we have a better picture on what this yokai would be. Do we, like, have we heard of yokai that are like green turtle-ish monsters with claws?
You have. What you are hearing is a kappa. They are amphibious turtle-like yokai that lurk, or used to lurk, around rivers and lakes, often drowning people and eating them in many circumstances. These days, they are, in many cases, sort of foot soldiers of more powerful yokai, particularly nasty in aquatic environments, but just as dangerous in land-based conflicts as well.
And we are in Chicago. There is a big old river that goes right through it.
Yeah.
Sure is.
I think that's a pretty good lead at the moment. You would want to go see Detective Willis now, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, I would have one more. I would just pretty much ask the spirit of the girl for a description of what her friend looks like.
About as tall as you. He's got short black hair. He's Asian. I don't know where from. And he wears nice clothing. Hard to describe. Just, suit and tie.
Did he give you a name?
Said Jonathan, but I don't know that I believed him.
And what's your name?
Melissa.
Okay, Melissa. Well, we're going to go meet up with our detective contact at your crime scene. So just so you were aware of what you were about to see.
He nods a little stoically. He doesn't have a choice in this circumstance.
Yeah, I don't think we could just leave a whole spirit lantern on the ground.
No, this is coming with us.
We'll get fired.
Yes, spending time in the alleyways of Chicago in a spirit lantern sounds like a terrible time.
You could have just let me go.
Right? Free me.
Okay, I think we're all ready to go to Detective Willis.
You finish your walk down the block and enter into what is basically a small general store, effectively. You see police gathered around at the sort of the bottom of a staircase, and a small kind of wiry looking man in a large coat sees the three of you enter and says, good, come in. He looks at you, Satoshi, says, give me a minute, okay? And he goes back to the other cops, and there's a short sort of discussion. A few of the cops looking over at the three of you.
Why do you keep staring at us?
One of them shrugs, and they all kind of walk out past you.
It's probably because you're in your full gear.
For no reason.
Detective Willis comes over. He says, okay, good. I'm glad you're here. Come on, go second floor.
Hold on, I've always wanted to say this. What are you talking about, Willis?
Being from 1920 and 29, he does not understand the reference. But
as long as you do.
And he kind of leads you upstairs. Upstairs, you find what appears to be like a small, almost like apartment area, with kind of in the center in this living area is what looks to be the signs of a struggle. There are knocked over chairs, a number of areas of blood spatter, and indeed a few claw marks in the walls. Willis says, so, from the blood, this wasn't that long ago. We're still trying to figure out exactly what did it, but he kind of reaches out and kind of traces a hand along the claw marks. Says, I think we all know that it wasn't a human that did it.
Yes, it seems that on our way here we might have found the what and also the who was affected.
What are you talking about?
As I pull up the lantern.
He comes over and looks into the lantern. You found her spirit.
Yeah, she was out in the alleyway crying, and then we seen the rift that was all, held together.
Found a rift too. I'm impressed. Say anything about what happened after she died. Sure, as you realize, there's no body, no sign of one either.
Yeah, so we would explain how that the Kappa took the body and went into that rift.
And now we think it's a Kappa.
Yes. Oh, yes, and then we think it's a Kappa.
Why would they need the body?
I don't know. They usually don't take them.
Maybe this is another move by a bigger yokai.
Possible. If it's a Nekomata, maybe they wanted her face. It seems like an awful long way to go for that. I mean, no offense to the deceased, but she wasn't that important. Not like having her face would allow them to get into anywhere important.
As I put earmuffs on the lantern.
Done a bit of research with what we were able to gather. Without the body, we had to do a bit of guesswork, but luckily, we found a few of her things. He goes over and gestures as you find a small purse over in one corner of the room where it seems to have been flung. Name appears to be Melissa Hart, and everything we've been able to gather, she works at a cabaret not that far from here on the Loop.
She said she was meeting this guy for an accountant job, and then she said that
Accountant job.
she was supposed to meet him at this store, and I explained where the store was, and that he didn't show up, and then bam.
Were the other people missing? Did they all have odd jobs?
In the information you gathered from the investigation, many of them had, I want to say, lower class jobs, but they were often seemed to be a little down on their luck, looking for other prospects. Not odd jobs, just lower paying jobs, less prestigious jobs.
So it sounds like her friend seems to be going around to all these people that are kind of down on their luck and manipulating them and promise them probably a better job or some kind of step up in life, and then
Or working with the Kappa.
working with the capo of some sort.
It's possible they're one and the same.
So
If he's using a comment, then he could be just about anybody. You are familiar with kamen. Yokai, especially the ones who are non-human, wear special masks called kamen, which allow them to blend in with humans. It gives them a human disguise, effectively.
Okay.
Melissa, would you remember any of the contact information to this Jonathan that we can try to reach out?
I have his phone number. Or at least the one he gave me.
Instead of them trapping other people, let's say we trap them.
It just might work. There is one thing, though. And Willis digs in a pocket and pulls out what looks to be a small silver lighter. He holds it out to you. Says, found this at the scene of this crime. Discarded over to one side. Looks like it almost been knocked out of a hand or something. As you take the lighter, it has a beautifully embossed insignia across the side of it that says the Silver Requiem. It looks to be anachronistic to this area. It looks more like a lighter from Refuge, which is the near future world where humanity is living on a space colony.
Can I roll a knowledge check?
You can.
Let's get it. I got 3 on mine, so might as well shoot it. I got 2 success and a 3 and a 2.
I mean, it sounds like a club, maybe. It's probably in the Pan American's habitat of the space station. Just assuming based on the fact that it's in English. That's not a guarantee, but it seems like maybe. But that's about all you're really able to get out of it.
And that would be like a hell's away from where we're at right now.
That would be an entire dimension away.
Yeah, that'd be an entire dimension away.
Over the communicator, Benjiro says, "Give me a minute, and I can probably try to find that place."
There is that rift that we can try to peek into.
Yeah, my character's faint-hearted, so that won't be his.
I got your support if you want to be big body.
Could with that rift, would someone like Hugo, who doesn't have like that spirit sight, be able to look through it?
You could look into it, but there is a danger. Going through a rift places you into the in-between, which is the place between realities. The in-betweens are the only place where you can see the entirety of the mosaic, entirety of existence all at once. This can be extremely detrimental to the average person and can drive one to madness. You have to be very careful when you enter the in-between.
I guess if we're talking like stat-wise, I'm pretty sure I probably have the strongest body of like an endurance and things out of us. So I guess if anybody who's gonna risk it, it's us. Though I don't know if it's like a Cthulhu-like thing where it's like Yeah, I'm physically strong, but I just seen some fourth dimensional existence that tore my mind apart. Is it like that kind of thing, or is it like physically, like can physically harm me, or both?
It is less physical. From a statistic standpoint, what you would need to resist is focus and resistance.
I'll be jumping in that boy then.
Yeah, it's not me.
If you wanted,
You have what? A 3? Yeah, I got a 2.
yeah, I'm gonna say if you want somebody to
I have
rift,
a 1.
you want somebody to portal jump, I'll be that man's.
If we wanna take a stab at it, that's all you.
Yeah, we're here for fun.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
And then if you survive that and we don't get anywhere, then we can give Jonathan a call.
Yeah. Set up a coffee date.
Yeah.
Pretend to be down on our luck.
And I could be the bait for that.
Yeah, it's not me.
But you so cute though.
Yep, never.
Oh, he'll be on the phone.
Yeah, I'll be on the phone. I'm a cop caller.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey.
You hit Karen real quick.
Yeah, my voice will change and everything.
Okay. So I think we're gonna go check that rift out, and we're gonna let Detective Willis know that we're gonna check that rift out.
All right. He says he's on standby if you need anything. He's going to work on cleaning up the crime scene now that you've had a chance to look it over.
Cool.
As you make your way back to the rift, you find it much as you left it. Still a black pit staring into your soul.
I'm ready.
You step up to this rift and carefully reach out, and you feel as your hand goes through the blackness of the void, you feel it enter into this space entirely devoid of heat or cold, just completely neutral. There's no breeze. It feels almost like being in a sensory deprivation chamber. As you push through, you see, very careful to avoid actually looking into the void that expands around you. You see on the far side of where you are another rift torn that you can see through into what would appear to be a another alley. This one you can kind of see the tops of skyscrapers past the end of the alley. Go ahead and give me a focus check.
Quick question before he rolls this, just out of curiosity, because I feel like this is something that my players would have asked me if I was GMing this. Hugo has an ability called Lady Luck, where he can do a +1 to a bonus check. Can that account for his teammates' rolls since he's part of the situation?
It does not.
Okay, that's what I figured. I just figured I'd ask.
Question.
You could try to aid him.
Okay.
If you can think of something you could do that would help him to not be drawn in by the Cthulhuoid call of existence, you could do that.
Would physically holding him as he's peeking through, trying to keep him grounded to something, making sure that he is connected to something else instead of the in between to take him away, like pinching his cheek or something?
Yeah, I would give that to you.
Okay.
In which case, Satoshi, you get to roll with a +1, so an extra die.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Hugo. I appreciate you. And we got character bred for this.
Two successes?
2 successes.
So we have an interesting problem. This is not enough. However, it is not enough by 1 point. Would you like to use your Enyo? Would you like to burn your connection to Enyo to succeed at this check? You cannot use it again until I use it back against you.
Yes, I'd like to use it.
All right. You stick your head through, being held back by Hugo. You see where the rift comes out, but you were able to shut out the view of existence. You know where it comes out, or at least vaguely. What would you like to do? Do you want to jump for it, or do you want to come back out of the rift?
What we thinking, team? What we thinking?
So what exactly is he seeing again? Just to make sure.
So he is seeing another view out into an alley. So beyond the edge of this alley, you can see tall skyscrapers and the curve of a massive glass window which is part of the space station itself.
If I jump in, would you jump in with me?
Is there? I mean, I want to, but how he was talking about before, how this is like a stealth-like thing. Is it? We should focus on stealth. So I'm trying to think: is there a way? Is there a way to walk through a portal stealth-like?
Generally, portals that are torn by the yokai and even the syndicate are done in areas where you are concealed from view for most people.
Okay.
So if you come out of this rift, you will probably come out into an area that would not draw a lot of attention.
Okay. I'm down to go check it out.
I mean, it sounds sick.
Yes.
Because it's basically going to go two ways. It's like, do we we call Jonathan up and like do like the more of the investigation route for this, or do we just jump right into some bullshit?
Well, the final Clash of Krits way is
Jumping in, fucking we ball.
So I think, are we all for
We're jumping into the bullshit.
going
right?
into it? Okay. So that's the consensus. We're gonna see what's on the other side.
Okay. The three of you dive into this rift. You come out of your reality into the in-between, and immediately you feel unnerved as you are completely outside of reality itself. As you start moving towards this other rift, everybody needs to make a challenging 3 focus check. So you're aiming for 3 successes.
Okay.
I only have 2.
I rolled a 1. Is 1 2 fails?
No.
Oh god.
1 is just not a success.
Yes, that's 3 success. Oh, that was about luck of God.
I roll 2 4s, but I will use my Lady Luck. And does the give me the +1? Does it give me a additional dice roll or just
A die.
A die? Oh, okay. How many of these can I only use 1 Lady Luck per check?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. That's a 6. So that's a 4.
That's 2.
Well, yeah, I know, but I was like, what about the 2 successes? I have 4 successes.
All right. Let's see what I get.
Come on, Chappy.
All right. First
Big
one.
money, no whammies.
First one's a 5. Second one's a 4. Third one's a 6. Fourth one's a 4. I think
Wow.
we're all good to go.
We're all
Hell
good
yeah.
to go.
All right. The 3 of you are diving across the in-betweens, keeping an eye on your prize, trying not to look at existence around you. Luckily, it's not a particularly far hop, and you are mercifully able to reach the other side to the rift with just 1 dive. As you come out the other side, you come back out into reality, and once again you are assaulted almost by the sounds of a city thrumming around you. You feel the sort of cold air against your skin, and you reach down as you come out of the rift to feel concrete beneath your hands and feet.
Whew, that was close.
Everybody still got that sinking feeling in their stomach.
Since I feel like we're going to be in a more threatening situation, I would put on my shinobi uniform.
I would also
Okay.
put mine on as well.
Maybe stay ready, young guy. Get ready.
All right, so you gear up. You know that you are in an alley somewhere in one of the habitats of the EOS space station. Looking just out of the alley as far as you can see from the back of it, you were able to see out onto what looks to be a major thoroughfare, and you can see a back door into a building on your left, and a pretty straight just wall on the right.
Can we see any of that symbol that's on the lighter?
You actually do.
Hell yeah.
Over the door on the left, you see the symbol marked in neon. The Silver Requiem.
They're probably hiding in there.
Yeah, I'd say that's a good bet.
Do we want to approach the door, see if it's open?
You check the door, and it is indeed locked.
I can either lockpick it, or we can go through the roof, or we can see if we can go through the roof.
I mean, I don't see the harm in trying to lockpick it first, right?
I would like to do my lockpicking.
It is not a difficult lock. It's going to be 2 successes.
And in his inventory, he says that he also gets an additional +1 to checks with his lock picks, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that means it's an engineering check. So that means you would roll 6d6? Is that
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
First one, 5, 4, 2 successes. You want to keep going?
Does him getting more successes relevant in certain situations like this?
In this circumstance, no.
Okay, then I got 2 successes.
You crack open the lock. It's easy. You're able to swing the door open just a hair, and you can hear the thumping of club music through the door.
With this club music, there's probably dimmer lights, so we should be able to kind of approach stealthily. I would assume.
That would seem to be the case.
Now, can I put the Shinobi eye oil in?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You apply the Shinobi's eye oil, and immediately the dim light of the back of this club lights up, and you can see the whole area bathed in a sort of supernatural light.
The description Melissa gave us of her friend, does anybody match his description?
You take a peek around. You have to kind of come into the building a little bit before you can kind of see more out onto the floor. Kind of hiding around a corner, fully covered in your shozoku. Go ahead and give me an awareness check. Difficulty here is going to be 3.
Question: are we allowed to hand like an item over? Like I have something called spyglass that would give a +1 to awareness checks to spot things from a distance. Would I be able to let him borrow that?
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Okay, so Hugo's gonna let you borrow the spyglass.
So I have 4 successes.
So you're peering around the room. It takes you a minute, but you were able to lock in on a familiar looking face that matches the description pretty much entirely, except for the fact that they're wearing a nice, almost more like leisurely suit as appropriate for refuge. So a different style, but a similar design to 5th Street. Is currently at a table in the club, drinking with 2 other men.
Is there a way? Do we have abilities or different techniques to see if a yokai is disguising themselves?
You do not. The ways you can generally tell is if you can get close enough, if you can touch the side of their face, you can feel the edge of the mask that they're wearing. The only other way is to determine via context clues. Most yokai have some small weakness or neuroses that allows you to pick them out pretty quickly. Kappa, for instance, are obsessed with cucumbers. They will never turn down something made with cucumbers unless it's, obviously poisoned or dangerous to them.
What would be the theme of this club?
It looks to be almost like classical music themed. So the music that's playing is more almost remixes of old classical songs.
Let's see. Would I be able to use a key point for Visions of Desire to pretty much look into our suspect and see what they desire most, which is kind of what it does?
Can. Make a quick hand sign and look into the mind of this individual. And you see his deepest desire, which at the moment you see laid out before him is what looks to be a bowl of some form of curry or something of the like on a monogrammed placemat or napkin that says Elysian.
I would relay that to my team.
I will note that the monogrammed napkin seems to suggest that it is not here that he wants to get food.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. And you said the place is called Elysian?
The Elysian, yeah.
Are we familiar with that place?
You can go ahead and make me a knowledge check.
One of us, two of us,
All of us.
all of us.
You could do one of you and the others can aid.
Mine's 4.
Mine's 3.
So if Osamu wants to try to do a knowledge check,
Yep.
and then can multiple people aid or only one person?
Multiple people can.
Okay, it's a +1 per person.
So you would have 6 die altogether because yours is 4, correct?
Yep. Oops, there we go.
So that is 4 successes.
Yep.
You know what he's thinking of. The Elysian is a relatively new but extremely hot restaurant. It is one of those sort of catering to an exclusive clientele of very wealthy patrons. They serve a wide variety of cuisines, and they're actually located sort of downtown in the Pan American habitat. So if you are there, they probably are not far.
I wonder if we got food from there to try to lure him out. It's like some kind of cucumber dish to try to lure him out specifically. And then if he's like elated by the cucumber, then that's when we know and kind of do it right there.
Yeah, right. That's a possibility. Or maybe they're taking the bodies to the fancy restaurant and cooking them up.
Do kappas eat people?
They've been known to, yeah.
Okay. Maybe he's using. Maybe he's making a nice cucumber human salad.
Or maybe it's like
Have Kappa's been known to make deals with people?
so maybe he's like being the supplier for like a yokai restaurant.
Okay, so there we have 2 different leads. We can continue to following, trying to approach this guy, or we can try to go to the Elysian spot to try to see if there's some kind of like food temptation. I think if we were going to go there, we could try luring him out
Yeah, I'm down with that.
with some kind of cucumber styled thing. Is there like, since this is the era that we're in is a lot more advanced, is there like a way that we can look up the said menu?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think we should look up the menu first to
Okay.
see.
It takes you a moment to kind of flip through this very, very sort of flashy menu. There are pictures of most of the dishes, sort of descriptions of them, wine pairings, the whole 5 miles. The one you are looking at specifically is a Indian pork curry, mostly notable because it is using theoretically real pork meat, which is a rarity on the EO station, as meat has to be rationed in many circumstances.
I read a lot of occult books.
Mm-hmm.
and see some weird things on the internet.
Uh-huh.
And human meat is the most comparable to pork meat.
Okay. I mean, you could be onto something.
Per theory. Just saying. I did listen to like the entire like Aleister Crowley like documentary thing at work today.
Okay, so we're gonna try to. So the plan is right now is to try to get some of that curry to go from that place.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Is that something possible that we can do?
I mean, usually it's a reservation type restaurant. They don't really do to go very much, if at
Gotcha.
all.
Maybe we could investigate the kitchen, or maybe swipe an order.
Or it's just go in the kitchen, swipe a cucumber. No, you're right. Swipe the order.
Yeah, we could just kind of.
Go in there, go in that restaurant, sneak into that restaurant, and then swipe an order, and
Off
then
the window.
off the window, and then just take it back here to the
Yeah.
club. Gonna walk across the street with just an open bowl of curry.
No, you get one of those like.
What if we can convince him that we have a reservation there?
Oh yeah, somebody could like walk up, like trying to be like friendly, and like
Yeah.
notice that he's looking at it.
Like the person who can talk probably the best out of all of us can go talk to,
Yeah, that's me.
to go talk to him and convince him that we have a reservation there.
That's cool. And it's a reservation for 4.
yes, have it's a conversation to try to get him out, at least out of the club.
And we just beat his ass in the alleyway.
I mean, if you could figure out if he's a yokai before that, then yes.
It's true.
I assume you were going to change back out of your ninja attire.
Actually, very much so.
All right. So you change back. You head into this club through the back entrance. And you're making your way over to this guy?
Can I use a disguise check or a disguise kit to like change my appearance to get like more like with what's going on in the scenario?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a difficult roll. I'd say it's a 2.
Okay. That's a 2.
You gussy yourself up a little bit. You change your clothes around a bit. You think you're pretty on trend, as it were.
Okay.
Start making your way over. How do you approach Jonathan?
He's sitting there with a couple others, right?
Yeah. They're sitting over at a table in the club.
I would probably like kind of walk past them like I was going to like the bar, and then I would just happen to notice that he's staring at that that restaurant's name, and then basically it would be like, what's going on, man?
He looks up for where he's been browsing the menu on his phone, and it initially looks a little annoyed. But as he sees you, he kind of says, "What do you want?"
I don't mean to be nosy or anything, but I noticed that you were looking at that fancy restaurant across the street, and me and my buddies just happened to have a extra reservation for there tonight. If you'd like to join, our other friend bailed on us.
He narrows his eyes a bit, says, "What's the catch?"
That I paid a bunch of money for a reservation, and if I don't have anybody to go there, I just wasted a bunch of money for no reason.
Roll manipulation.
Alrighty.
You got this.
All
There's
right.
no whammies.
We got a 6, a 5, a 4, and 2 2s.
So 4 successes.
4 successes.
You say this to him. He looks conflicted for a moment. Before he looks over to the other guys he's sitting with. And one of them shrugs. The other says, whatever. I got things locked down here. And he kind of like gives the guy a look. He says, "We expecting any more deliveries?" And Jonathan shakes his head. Says, "Oh, all done now." "All right, I'll take you up on it, buddy." Gets up and kind of gives you another once over. "Let's go."
All right, no problem. You want to have a smoke first?
Yeah. He pats himself down for a moment and then looks irritated. Says, "You got a lighter?"
Yeah, one of the buddies that we'll be meeting probably got one. I'm gonna go use the bathroom real quick. I'll meet you out back.
"Sure." He kind of starts heading towards the back.
Okay.
As we see him heading towards the back, I'm immediately going to change out of my shinobi clothes because we're in the back.
I want to be high posted. I'm not entering out my shinobi clothes.
My man just wants to be in full shinobi gear.
Because I'm going to let him walk past us like we're just being casual.
Yeah, I'm gonna dress up my shinobi gear then.
Okay. You guys really quickly kind of start shifting and changing. By the time he gets back there, you're like just managing to get into your regular clothing. You've like shoved your Shozokus back into a corner. He goes by you, no problem. Doesn't even seem to pay attention to you.
Good. After he steps out, do we just like... Do we...
See, I want to know how... I was about to ask, how much poison can I hit him with to sedate him?
Okay, you want to sedate him?
Yeah, then take him to a different place, ask him questions.
I mean, kidnap him.
You have killing poison right now, but if you tried to You could take the assassination action to take him out, but you could do it non-lethally.
You want to do that, or you just want to straight up?
Like, do we have to talk to him?
I mean, he doesn't have a lighter. He matches the description.
Right. That's what, like I guess the thing I would say, like the reason why we would talk to him is to gain more information. But it seems like we already know that he's working with other people, so those people can continue. We can continue to investigate those guys.
Yeah.
So like my thing is like, is this somebody that we need to talk to?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I want to knock him out because I thought we needed like to talk to him to figure out who's the bigger cheese. If we try to knock him out and be like, "Bow, I'm the yokai," then yeah, we're out here shooting the ones in the middle of the alley and we complete the mission. But if we knock him out, figure out who the higher cheese or who the what's the yokai called again?
Kappa.
A kappa. Who's the kappa?
We could also ask our handler what he thinks.
Yeah. The information that Osamu had, are we aware of the entire conversation, or is that something that he'd have to relay to us in some kind of way first?
You could be aware of that conversation, yeah.
Okay. Then, while we were aware of the conversation, is it possible to ask Benjiro if that with the info that we have, is this more of a lead that we should follow through with, like possibly capture him and gain information from this yokai, or should we nip it in the bud and then just investigate the other two?
He comes back, he says, I think investigating this Jonathan would be a good lead. If you've got him already on the line, and you should be able to get something out of him. It sounds like he's at least aware of what's going on.
How does this assassination attack or action work again?
So you are going to take a moment to roll a stealth check. That stealth check will be against Jonathan's awareness base. If you succeed, then you knock him out. If you fail, then you fail to knock him out, and he and anyone around him becomes aware of you.
Okay, I have collectively 4 die in stealth, and I can have Lady Luck and my Inyo to make it 6.
Go ahead, Pimpin'.
Necessary.
Go ahead.
If you want me to
Yes,
Sounds
go
good to me,
ahead.
buff boy.
I hope you walk up and just one punch.
Okay, so after he walks outside because he's waiting for Samu, I'm going to attempt to knock him out.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna just do my 4 first, and do I decide to use Lady Luck or my Inyo before or after? Like, can I know if
you can do it after.
I can know if I failed or not. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Oh. I got
Oh, you're good.
Oh, okay. So I got a 5, a 4, and a 6. So that is 5 successes.
Hell yeah.
Okay. You come up on this guy and just fully crack him across the jaw with your metal hand, and he goes to the ground.
And then I would immediately let Osamu know that he's neutralized and unconscious. I would then ask Benjiro, can we take the yokai to headquarters to interrogate?
Do we know if it's yokai or not?
I guess since he's knocked out, I can like feel his face or see if it's a yokai first. That's also true. I forgot. I was just assuming it was. I'm gonna do that first.
Luckily, you feel the edge of a mask.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Sick.
I mean, if it was just a regular person, I think we're just gonna leave him there.
We're gonna throw him right in that river and walk away.
I actually got to pee though, so I'm gonna make you guys wait.
But I would ask Benjiro if when it comes to like the protocol, this stuff, since we are Genin, is bringing a yokai to headquarters a reasonable thing when it comes to interrogations?
We prefer that you don't, but we have cells for it if necessary.
Benjiro, we feel like this yokai is working with bigger, maybe other yokais or just a bigger people.
Bring him in for questioning. We might be able to get something out of him.
Can we head back to headquarters whenever we want, or are there specific spots?
You can head back to one of the gatehouses. So the agency maintains several front businesses around the mosaic where they have headquarters and gates back to the main headquarters.
Is one close by to us, to our knowledge?
Yes.
I'm just gonna lug him over my shoulder and just start walking with him, I guess.
Tie him up a little bit.
No, because we're walking in public.
Yeah,
is
we're
it
walking in
nighttime?
public still.
Oh,
So,
We're in public, yeah.
we'll just pretend like he's drunk or something.
yeah, that's why I just have him lugged over my shoulder.
Yeah. All right. And then I guess I would finish using the bathroom and meet you guys out back.
Okay. All right, and then we're gonna head back to base to tie his ass up and ask him what he knows.
You draw a few looks heading back carrying this guy, but you manage to get back to the headquarters without any major problems. Benjiro is there waiting for you, and he gets the kappa set up in an interrogation cell.
Cool. Well, I am I can be the big, strong, like fear kind of guy, but like I am not gonna be able to say shit to this dude. So I'm gonna let y'all talk, and I can just look like your muscle.
Perfect. All right. So we're back at the place. We got him in the cell. I'm assuming he's restrained.
Yep.
I would ask our handler if there are any cucumbers in the office.
You can source them.
Okay. If he could source me a couple cucumbers real quick.
You're gonna tie him up, put him in a corner, and put a cucumbers on the other side of the room.
Benjiro gets you 2 cucumbers fairly quickly, surprisingly.
He just keeps them in his desk. All right. I grab the 2 cucumbers and I walk into the interrogation room.
All right. The Jonathan is coming to a bit as you come in. He looks up and kind of looks around. What's this all about? Who are you?
My name is Osamu.
Hey, where are we getting dinner? What's going on?
And I pull out the soul lantern and I ask him if this lady looks familiar to him.
He looks taken aback for a moment. So what if she does?
Do you care to tell me what you know about her, Jonathan?
I don't know anything.
And I like walk over and I rip his mask off. Well, we know that she was killed because obviously she's in this soul lantern. And we have reason to understand, because we've been following you around for a little bit, that you've been offering people that are down on their luck better positions in life, and then they go missing. Care to elaborate?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you know where you are?
I'm sorry for interrupting. Since we're back at the ship, can I engineer anything for like a truth serum?
Given the circumstances you have and the tools you have at your disposal, yeah, it's gonna be a 3 roll on a engineering check, but you can give that a shot. Yeah.
First one's a 3, second one's a 2, 5, 6. That's 3 successes. Okay, so
Okay.
just 3.
You are whipping up a truth concoction from the chemicals on hand. It's taking a minute, but you think you're going to have something pretty soon.
While Osamu's talking, Hugo would enter the room and start cleaning his gun
Okay.
behind Osamu.
Osamu, give me a manipulation check with a +1.
All right. That is a 6, a 5, and all fails.
So 3 successes.
3 successes.
As Hugo comes in and starts cleaning his gun, Jonathan looks worried, let's say. All right. Listen, I'll talk. You gotta let me go afterwards, all right?
Sure.
I know a lot. I can give you a lot of information. You just have to let me go afterwards, all right?
Here, I'll even give you half of a cucumber for each thing you get right. Each thing you tell me, I'll give you a slice of cucumber.
Sees the cucumber, kind of like licks his lips a bit. All right. Fine, I'll play ball.
I like to inject the truth serum into the cucumber.
I do. We do that outside of the room so he doesn't see us do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First question would be, what's his purpose? Like, what is he doing?
I'm supposed to kill people and deliver the bodies.
Deliver them to where?
You hold them at the club for a little bit, and then they go to the Elysian.
Then they go to the Elysian. I see. And what are they doing with them at the Elysian? As I cut a piece of cucumber and put it in his mouth.
He takes it and eats it. And let's see how well he does against Truth Serum. Oh, well.
Good.
Hell yeah.
They cook them, all right?
Who cooks them?
The others, my boss and the others.
And who's your boss?
Danshi.
Is Danshi also a Kappa?
No. He's a Neurogene.
A Neurogene. Do I know what that is?
That would be that'd be a knowledge check.
Okay. Let me just go ahead and hit that real quick.
If Hugo can give an aid, he will.
Same.
You can.
All right. So we have
Dog shit.
dog shit comparatively, but we still got 3 passes.
You got 1 because it's
Threes
anything
don't
above
count.
Oh,
3.
3s don't count. You're right.
Yes.
That's just 1. Okay, yeah, no.
Dog shit.
Dog shit.
You do not know what he's talking about.
How many of you are there?
6. There's 6 of us.
6 of you. Those other 2 in the club?
Yeah.
Those were 2 others?
He nods.
And the other 3 are at the restaurant.
He nods. Yes.
What kind of clientele do you get through there?
Real rich folks. Fancy types. Exclusive. You know?
Well, damn, we kind of got everything.
Is really just the purpose of this just to kill and then resell? Like, why? Like, what's the point of this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that.
He's fighting the truth serum, but eventually wins out. It says, make Jiki Ninki. We get enough people eating their own kind, start seeping into them.
That's not good.
That's awful.
You'd be vaguely familiar that a lot of yokai are created from humans who either die horrible deaths or perform terrible acts.
Right.
Among those terrible acts, cannibalism is usually one of them.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Are there any more questions?
No.
I mean, we just got to go run the sting operation now.
Is that what we got to do?
I don't know.
Is it a sting we got to do? Or do we just got to make sure they ain't fucking cooking no more?
We about to be food services. We about to shut that.
We're still getting though. We can't. This is above our punching punching class.
Maybe. Was this something that is this like this is like a bigger thing than what we expected kind of moment?
It's a little bigger than they expected, but as you are kind of getting this information, Benjiro says, all right, plans changed. We've obviously got a larger operation here. That's going to take a lot more work to deal with, at least to clean up. The 3 of you can still be useful in this. We'll need you to take out the head. And find your way into the Elysian, find the head chef, the person who's in charge of this operation, and take them out. We'll send other agents to clean up the rest.
I think Hugo would say understood and then immediately shoot the guy in the head.
He's like, all right, now you bam.
Every time.
We don't need them for anything.
At least give us a warning. That's all we ask.
Is it really a warning if you do I need to when you know I'm going to do it?
You know damn well gunfire startles me. Now I gotta go to the bathroom again. Lucky I packed an extra shinobi suit.
I didn't.
I think that's pretty straightforward. Then we're going to go back, at least get rid of this guy.
The agency can dispose of the body.
I would hope so. I'm gonna get back in my shinobi gear then, and because this is just gotta be because we're gonna wait years and years for a reservation online.
Yeah,
and we don't want to be seen, so I think we just gotta sneak in here and get an off him. What are you?
Do the yokai masks work on humans?
Not for most. The Tante have the ability to use them, but no one else.
Okay. Because I was like, we could just like use one of us as like fresh meat and like go to deliver it to the restaurant and then just be like, wake up like the Undertaker.
Yeah, well,
Could pretend to be like people delivering cucumbers.
just cucumbers.
Yeah, it was
With one cucumber.
We're the Cucumber Brothers. We run a
Not
cucumber farm.
not even like a case of cucumbers. You just show up with one cucumber because you only have one cucumber
Every
left.
single one of them will be like, what are you going to do with that cucumber?
Might not all be kappas though,
That's
because the
true.
leader isn't one.
Can Yonkos see other Yonkos even if they have the mask on?
Yokais.
Yeah, man, my bad.
This
I
ain't
said
One
Yonko.
Piece, bro.
But yeah, can yokai see other yokai if they wear the mask?
No, they seem to be disguised as well.
You can disguise yourself as
Jonathan.
yeah, and you can say I'm bringing in a new person. It can be
I mean, you guys.
yeah, and I can probably sneak in. How is your stealth?
My stealth is a 4.
I'm at 4 too, so one of us can sneak in behind.
My thing to that is, I don't think that the people who are getting caught by these people are getting to the chef. I don't think the chef is like handling them until they're dead, because he killed this girl and then brought a dead body.
Yeah, and they store the bodies at the club, and then they go over there.
Correct. So I don't think Jonathan would have been like, "Hey, I got a live one for you."
No, like
No, I mean like we would bring a bot, like someone would pretend to be dead.
yeah, like if I can make the poison like to stop your heart, you can.
I don't know about that, but I could definitely
Or
put on some
false-
makeup on and look dead.
What about the pulse though?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like something like that, they'd be like,
I don't think I mean, if Jonathan pulled up, was like, hey, it's just another body. Let's throw him in the freezer, and we just do you up with some makeup to look dead, and then I'm the only person who touches you technically.
okay, yeah, sure, do me up, but pretty me up, I guess, or dead me up.
Yeah.
That's fine. But like, I guess the thing is, we have to. There's the stuff that we're missing here, right? Well, I guess not missing, but we're kind of shadowing over. We have to make sure we look good enough that we look like Jonathan.
Yeah.
First and foremost, Jonathan is
You right.
Agent Osamu would probably have the best representation, I presume, to the look that Jonathan was giving. So we'd have to see what Osamu can do with his disguise first. Does that sound plausible, Cody?
I got 4 in disguise.
But you don't look like Jonathan.
I know.
So what is
bad.
You
that?
can disguise him, though.
Oh, okay. So we could use disguise checks on each other.
Yes.
Okay, so it's whoever would have the best disguise roll, which yours is 4.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that would be you. That you try to disguise Osamu to look like Jonathan. Because that's first and foremost. Essentially, you're going
yeah.
to disguise him to look like Jonathan, and then me to look like a dead body.
If I didn't have this ninja roll Hyundai yokai, I'd be a makeup tutorial on YouTube.
Right.
Okay, so Satoshi's going to try to disguise Osamu first.
Can I technically give him the help action if he's the one doing it on me?
Yes.
Man, you had to go ahead and shoot him. Now he's got blood all over his clothes. I can't even put him on.
No, you can, because Jonathan ate a girl. Hey, you killed
Oh,
me.
yeah.
You killed
Let
me.
me put on these. And I start taking my clothes off to put the bloody
First one's a 4.
suit on.
Second round's a 2. 5.
2. So that's 2 successes.
Yeah, 2 successes.
But
Plus my one.
plus you have 1
Oh.
from the aid, so 1 more die.
3 successes.
So 3 successes.
You think you've done a pretty good job at disguising Osamu as Jonathan. To your eye, he looks just about the same.
I think I got it. What you think?
He looks like a person.
But does he look like Jonathan?
To be honest, I blew Jonathan's face off, so I don't really remember what he looks like.
Ever since that Banshee yokai screamed in your ear, your memory went to shit.
What?
Man, this suit makes me look caked up. I feel like Megan Thee Stallion.
I can't.
Now you got to make me look dead. And I guess I'll try to aid since I've probably.
Yeah, hold your breath and turn blue.
Is that possible, Cody? Can I aid to look dead, like for the dead disguise?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
You're in trying to look like somebody else, you could give pointers, but in trying to look dead, that's not quite the same ball game.
What if we watch
Oh.
Weekend at Bernie's 1 and 2?
Wait. Okay. What if me taking my arm off because it's not a real one? Would that count to the aid to make it look like the struggle happened?
You know, yeah, that could work.
Okay, I'm gonna be armless. I'm gonna only have one arm, but it's
Look at you cook.
okay.
I'm sitting fancy with 5 successes.
All right.
You dead as fuck.
You really make Hugo look dead. At the time you finish, you are confident that even a Shadowscar agent would have a hard telling from a distance that he wasn't really dead.
That tracks, because we Shadowscar, we just kill. We don't actually talk to people.
And my pistol is highly concealable, so I should be able to keep it concealed as long as I'm not pat down, like with my body.
Yes.
Cool.
Also, can I let this poor girl go?
So here's the problem.
Ooh.
You have 2 options.
Okay.
You either let her go from the lantern and let her pass on,
Okay.
which, once again, you don't really know what happens when that happens.
Sure.
Or you could make an appeal to the agency to have her resurrected, but the caveat of that is that she would join the agency.
Have her resurrecting.
I would ask her
Oh, that's fair.
because I feel like she was down on her luck and was looking for a better job anyway. And being dead kind of sucks, I've heard.
You approach this carefully, I assume.
Yeah. I put on like my not Jonathan face.
After all my hard work.
Yeah, I guess I would do this before that if you'd allow it.
Yeah.
It'd be quite traumatizing.
You, I guess, ask her whether she wants to join the agency.
Or go into the abyss.
What is your approach to this? Because there's a lot of reasons to join the agency.
My approach would probably be more towards kind of making sure, or pretty much telling her that she could help other people not become victims like her.
He agrees. He's not sure what this means, but she has to thank you for helping her as much as you did.
And I just try to look cool and say it's just part of the job.
I got an out of game question.
Yeah.
When you get resurrected, can you just pick what clan you want to go into or no?
No, you come back as yourself.
Okay.
Okay.
Do they like need a body or something, or?
Generally they need a body, but one can be made
Gotcha.
if the body has been destroyed.
Do we want to wait to see if her body's still intact? That we can bring her body back with her?
Yeah, we.
No.
I mean, we could leave the spirit lantern here
No, I know, but I'm saying like,
and see if it's there or not.
yeah.
I say give her a new body.
I mean,
How about it?
It's up to her. Let's see if her body's there,
Yes.
and then when we return it, we'll bring it. If we can't, then it is what it is.
Yes.
I pretty much explained to her that that's like a possibility that could happen.
Okay. He's taking it one step at a time.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. I think we've done everything that we can for her at the moment.
Yeah, that's about all we could do for her.
Yes. You know what I could do to really piss these guys off? If
What's
I'm
up?
in that meat locker, I have a thing in my inventory called Corpse Eater, which it literally dissolves dead body, like dead organic organic components. I could just get rid of their entire inventory. Granted, I'm erasing dead people, but like,
Inventories.
Yeah, I don't like that. Maybe somebody needs to know that their family member died or something.
yeah,
That would probably bring closure to a lot of people.
it might. But I mean, they're also probably been dead for a while already.
Maybe. They're probably
We
pretty
gotta see.
probably pretty fresh if they're getting eaten.
Yes, maybe. I mean, something. We're going on a tangent. Okay.
Yeah, no tangent. Sorry, Cody. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm ready to go. You guys got to carry me because I'm a dead body.
Yeah.
Together, you carry Hugo's body, and you manage to get it out of the headquarters. And I assume you're kind of Are you just heading over normally, or you want to drag the body across the way and out to the Elysian?
I was thinking maybe you can go to the buddies at the club, be like, hey, I got a fresh one that just happened, and then they can technically go along with you.
That's true. Yeah, we would probably go to the club first.
Sorry, if he's gonna go to the club as Jonathan, I'd like to be like hanging back far away, so nobody will spot me.
Okay. You head to the club. I assume you kind of like leave Hugo out back.
Yeah.
So you can bring the others out to him. By the time you get in, you see that the two he had been talking to are talking with each other, maybe a few cups deep, because you can see a few empty glasses on the table with them.
And would I have had a good recollection of Jonathan's voice?
Yeah, I'd say so.
All right, and I would pretty much talk like Jonathan and say, hey guys, I got a fresh one in the back.
They look back at you. One says, "What are you talking about? I thought you said we were done."
I couldn't pass this one up. He's too big and meaty.
All right.
Kind
They
of
both get up.
fell into my lap.
Show me.
Real quick, as everybody left me to be like a dead body, could I quickly consume this oxhorn root that I have?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've got a few moments out back.
Okay. Cool. So I'm going to consume it so then my body becomes 4
Nice.
for
All
the
right.
next hour.
Oh well, damn.
You get out back with these two guys, and they see Hugo, and one of them says, "Damn, you were right. Where do you find this guy?"
Well, I went out to dinner with the one guy, and we had a couple smokes, and then we ended up parting ways, and then seen this big old feller drunk behind the restaurant, and I said, "Huh, it's easy enough." And then I took him over here.
Oh shit, all right. We'll see if the boss wants him. They go into the back and come back with what would appear to be a large cart, almost like a serving cart, as it were. Load him up.
Yup, and I go start loading him up.
You hoist him up onto the cart, and they cover him over with a cloth. All right. Same as before, we're catering.
Do you guys want to stay back? I see you guys have tied one on. Maybe it's best if I went and talked to the boss.
Shit, yeah, you're probably right.
Don't want to mess up our good organization we got going on here.
You can deal with it.
All right, just this once.
They head back inside, happy to not have to be doing their jobs.
When they go back inside, can I slide under the second level of the cart?
Is it like a double layered cart?
Yeah, you slide under, covered over by the cloth.
And then I would start wheeling them over there to the restaurant, to the back door.
All right, you wheel them over, and at the back door, you see a man, long, sort of skinny, standing out back. He sees you coming, and says, "Your shipment?"
Yup.
All right, this way. He opens the door a little surreptitiously and gestures you in.
Alrighty.
You enter the back of a busy kitchen. You can hear people shouting, the clacking of implements, the whirring of various instruments, and fire everywhere. The man leads you through towards the back, where you see a big meat locker, effectively.
Okay. I asked the guy, "Hey, where's the boss at?"
Why do you need to know?
I got a special one for the boss. Grade A stuff.
He reaches over to look under the cloth.
And you just see giant Hugo's big ass.
Wow. Where'd you find this one?
Behind the club.
Give me a manipulation check.
Okay. Dun. All right, let's see what we get, guys.
You still have your Inyo too, if you.
I do.
If you need to bump it up, but you could do that after the
Yeah,
roll.
that's true. All right, we got a 5. We have a 6.
Rolled so
We have
good.
a 4.
Jeez.
We have a 2. We have a 5.
Hell yeah.
So that is a 5
Okay.
successes.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, take me to the freezer. I'll get the boss.
Awesome. As I wheel you guys into the freezer, and I like whisper underneath the cart, like, "Hey, he's gonna get the boss, right? And then I'm gonna lock this freezer door, and then we're gonna do what we gotta do. It'll be 3-on-1, clean cut."
Oh yeah. So since this is how it's gonna go, Hugo is going to have. Can he have his gun like cocked and ready for as soon as his tarp goes over? He's going to blast.
If you tell me that, so I'm not the one lifting the tarp.
Yeah, sure, but like that'll be the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Hugo's gonna be prepared to shoot as soon as the tarp gets pulled off.
Yep. So pretty much what I'll do is I'll push the cart to the back of the freezer. I'll wait for the boss to come in, and I'll be like, I'll act all excited and be like, "Oh yeah, you gotta really take a look at this one. This one's grade A prime stuff." And then I'll lock the freezer door.
Question. What does my enchanting seal technique do?
That is enchanting the weapon. You do various things. Heavy strikes means that it can't be blocked. Parrying means that if you effectively defend with melee against an attack, they take a minus to their next attack against you. Rending means that it does extra damage to items. I believe the other one was
Precise.
Yeah.
precise. Precise means that you can take the aim action without taking a penalty on your next attack.
What y'all feeling? Heavy seal, parry.
To what?
Enchanting my sickle.
Probably the heavy. I would assume the heavy strike.
Okay. I like to use one of my techniques to enchant my sickle for a heavy strike.
Okay. You create a glyph on your sickle, imbuing it with the weight to strike beyond attacks but defenses.
Can I also coat it in poison or no?
Yeah.
Yes, I like to do that too.
Sick.
At that point, things go quiet in the freezer. 6-7 minutes later, the door opens and you see a tall, very angular looking man with long black hair enter. He sees you and sees the cart. What exactly was so important that you needed to pull me away from my business?
And I point towards the cart in the back of the room, and I say, "I got some of the most high quality stuff this time.
Is that so?
Go give it a peek yourself. You won't believe it."
Heads back to the back where the cart is.
Yep. And then I wait.
And
Go ahead. Sorry.
What?
I was going to wait till he grabs the sheet, and then I was going to use one of my key points to basically erode the door shut.
Okay. He grabs the sheet, and you very quickly make a hand sign and touch the door, corroding it at the lock. And he pulls the sheet up, and this triggers Hugo.
I'm gonna shoot him right in his goddamn face.
Okay, so go ahead and roll a stealth check. Yeah.
Okay. 6, 5, 5, and a 2. That makes it 4. But I'm gonna use my Lady Luck just to try to throw down on top of it.
Hell yeah.
And that's another 1, so that would still just be a 4. If that's not enough, I still have my Inyo if I can apply that. If I should apply that.
Can I also aid
That is
him?
enough.
Oh, cool.
You, in this circumstance, no. You initiate the assassination, you bring your gun up right into his face, and I need you to make a marksmanship check.
A marksmanship check. Okay.
This game is cool.
This game is sweet.
It's dope as hell.
So the marksmanship is with my mind. Eagle Eye. So this ability says Eagle Eye. On each of your turns, you can take the aim action without for free. Additionally, you don't hit a bystander when
this-
you roll a success and attempt to hit a character with a ranged attack.
This will not apply here because
Okay.
this is an assassination.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to make sure.
You better give me a cool catchphrase too when you assassinate this man.
It's gonna be like, ugh.
You wrote trash, didn't you?
I got 0 successes. And I imagine if I have to use my Eno, it's only going to give me 1 die, right?
Even Eno cannot save you now.
Well, I guess we have to see how this.
Time to tussle.
You bring the gun up right into his face. He notices just in time to throw himself out of the way as you pull the trigger. You deal no damage and he is aware of you, but luckily, because you shut the big steel door, nobody outside notices.
Can I follow behind his attack with my sickle and do a heavy strike?
You can.
Does it count as assassination because I was like underneath under on a cart bottom level, or no?
I would say give me the stealth check, but do it at a -1 penalty, so 1 less die.
Yep. I rolled a 0 on stealth.
Okay. So you are not going to be able to pull off the assassination. You come out from under the cart and swing up with the sickle, and he sees you and snakes back out of the way before you can lay a blade on him. He looks surprised, and you see he reaches up and grabs at his face and pulls free a mask. As you watch, his form begins to shift and change, his legs turning to a long serpentine tail, and his body covering with scales. As you see his mouth transform into a large open snake's maw, and his eyes become red and slitted.
Don't like that.
All right, so I need the person with the highest awareness check to make an awareness check.
Drop a card, you can go.
First one, 2, 1, 6, 5. So 3 successes.
Okay, the Nuregi is going first.
Damn.
Having been attacked now twice, as the bullet shot off and hit the side of the corner, and Satoshi struck with his sickle. The Norwegian retaliates, swinging this long snake-like tail at Satoshi. So you are going to either make a melee check at a -1, or you're going to make an athletics check.
Okay, I'm making athletics check then. I got 3 successes.
You throw yourself down out of the way as this large tail snakes overhead and crashes into one of the racks in this meat locker.
I hate to be cleaning all this mess up.
All right, now it is up to the 3 of you. You can choose in what order you take your actions.
Can I try to grapple him?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm going to attempt to do. I'm going to use one of my my twin vine whips and try to grapple him.
Okay, so you make a hand seal, you extend these vine whips out of your arms and snap them out to grapple. You're going to make a melee check.
And I have my melee is 5. So that is 4 successes.
Nice.
Your whips wrap around this Norwegian and start to bind them in place.
Is it just like 1 action per turn?
It's 2, but you had to use an action to summon your whips.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So then, one of you guys.
You want to go? You want me to go, chaps?
You can go.
All right. So since I have, it says my weapon traits, I have twin weapons. I'm gonna make 2 attack rolls.
Well, you're going to make 2 attack rolls with 1 action. If you take a second attack action, you'll make another 2.
Ooh.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, so for all day. For the first attack, I have 2 successes. I mean 3 actually. 6 and a 4.
3 is unsuccessful. You would need 4.
All right.
Second attack.
Second attack. Miss.
Don't mean to interrupt, but does him being grappled by me affect his attack roll in any kind of way?
Yes, it does. It is -1 to his checks.
Okay, all right. So,
Also, I hit.
wait. So, did he need the 4? Did he need 4,
Yeah.
including the grappling?
Yes.
Okay, so you technically would need a 5 if he wasn't grappled.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Just gotta make sure.
Third attack. So I rolled with 4 successes.
That's gonna hit.
All right. So I do 2 damage, and since I put poison on my sickle and I'm a poison master, they have to difficulty in. They take two extra poison.
Okay, so you've envenomed them. You slash through their chest with this sickle, pushing the poison deep into their body. They fall back with a hiss, burying their fangs. You've got 2 more attacks if you want to take them.
All right. My first attack. I have 3 successes on my first attack.
That's gonna do it. Strike for another 2. You feel armor getting in the way, but it's not stopping it entirely.
And now for my last attack. And I have 2 successes.
That one is not able to strike. He snakes out of the way.
I'm going to pull my staff out and crack this bad boy in the back.
Okay.
And that is 1 success.
He moves out of the way of your staff, unfortunately.
All good. And that would be that first action. I could gonna swing again. And that is 2 successes.
You're lucky because that hits.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
If I invoke Inyo, does that give me a bonus to damage or no?
Gives you 3 extra points.
Ooh. So I'll do that.
You're taking 5 off him.
Sick.
You crack him across the jaw, and you see blood fly as you kind of knock him back a bit.
Nice.
In retaliation, first off, he takes 2 points of damage as the poison courses through his veins.
Yes.
But he swings his tail at Osamu.
Oh no.
I need you to make either an athletics check or a melee check at -1.
Alrighty. 2 successes.
This massive tail slams into you, nearly knocks you off your feet, and you take 4 points of damage.
Ooh.
Yeesh.
He's going to then try to get out of the grapple. So I need a melee check from Hugo.
Okay. That is 2, 4, 6. That is 7 successes. I rolled 3 6s and a 5.
Damn.
Oh, he's not even vaguely able to get out of that grapple.
You know what's so funny?
You hold him tight.
You got one arm doing this.
So then it'd be our turn again.
Yes.
Do I have to keep up the grapple check, or is he still grappled until he
no.
tries to break free? Okay. Can I
grappled.
can I headbutt him as like an unarmed strike?
It's not going to do a lot of... Actually, no, you have Iron Body, so
Yes.
it will do more damage than normal.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, let's see. That is only going to be 1 success for me, but I have Heavy Strike with Iron Body, so the weapon takes a -2 penalty to their melee check. Oh, so does that mean I roll with a minus actually on my aiming?
No. He would take a -2 to defending via using a weapon.
Oh, okay.
He's not though, so he does not take that minus, and you do not hit.
Okay. I'm like, should I do? Oh no, I have 2 attacks, right? I have 2 actions. I'll try again.
All right, go for it.
I have 3 successes.
You headbutt him full in the face.
There you go.
He reels back. Head snaps back as you deal 2 points of damage to him.
I'm gonna pump my Inyo into it and make it 5.
Okay. Blood spurts as you knock him back. He's stunned for a moment as he takes this damage.
That's your guys' turn.
I'm going to slide in front of him and slice up with my chain sickle.
Okay. He is below grievously wounded, so he's going to take another penalty to that.
I still got my heavy strike, what you call it, in place on my weapon, my seal. Let's get it. 1 success for the first attack.
1 success is not going to do it.
All right. Second one. 1 success again.
Still not going to do it. You've got 2 more chances if you want to take your other action.
I'm definitely going to take them. Let me hear the dice. I got 2 successes.
2 successes. You swing around with the chain and catch him in the side with the sickle, slicing up into him. He's looking very rough, bleeding from numerous wounds. He starts to be on the defensive.
Final attack.
3 successes.
3 successes.
I can hit.
Fuck yeah.
You slash across his face, opening up a wound as he falls back and looks to be limping. He hisses violently at you, baring his claws and fangs.
Ooh.
Go ahead, Osamu. Finish this up.
He would take a couple steps back towards me, and then I would baseball bat swing a staff at his dome piece.
All right.
See if we could do it. No success. And then I'm going to use my other action to attack again. No success.
Okay, you're swinging on him, but he's dodging out of the way. He looks to be fighting for his life at this point. At his turn,
Does my poison kill him?
Yes, actually.
Yes!
He lunges at Hugo, trying to grab for him and bite with these long injector fangs. And you see the black veins start to web across his body, and he catches and kind of grasps but falls to the ground, ripping towards Hugo, and then going still.
Immediately after he goes still, we can kind of see he's dead. I would immediately. Can we contact Benjiro, even though we're in this freezer at the moment?
Yes.
Okay, Benjiro, do we need the body for anything?
No, we don't need the body.
Okay, so I'm immediately going to drop him, and then I'm gonna pour my corpse eater.
Hold on.
What?
Oh, I forgot. Never mind. This is a trial. Never mind. Continue. I'm playing this like a campaign. Go ahead.
And then I'm just gonna dump the corpse eater, all compound, all on the body, so it just dissolves.
You pour the corpse eater over the corpse of this Neuragene, and you watch as it bubbles and steams and dissolves into a puddle of goo.
Hugo was wrestling it the entire time, so he's probably breathing a little heavy. He's just like, okay.
Man, you did a good job.
Mission accomplished.
Now I'm going to see if...
Are you sure you need that fake arm?
I'm going to see if Melissa's body's in here somewhere.
Yeah, I guess we try to look for Melissa's body, and then we got to be out.
You look around, you find, in total 3 bodies.
Okay.
two of which have been partially parted out.
Oof.
But you were able to find Melissa's body among them, as far as you can tell, unharmed.
Cool.
Of course, except for a large slash across her throat.
Yeah, we could figure that one out.
Throw her up.
Throw her on the cart.
Put the body on the cart.
Throw you guys back under the cart.
and then we'll peel out, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the organization said they were going to take care of the lesser guys, right?
Yeah, we'll figure it out later.
Oh,
This
okay.
is like the
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
But how are we going to get out this freezer?
I have one key point left, and I will completely disintegrate the lock.
Gotcha. Okay. I was going to ask, like,
Hell yeah.
how are we going to get out of here? Okay. That makes more sense.
Yep.
I was jumping through that window.
You disintegrate the lock and slip out the back
Sweet.
with your cart. It not long before you're able to get back to the headquarters, where you see a small strike team of higher agents preparing to effectively form a strike on the restaurant. As you get back, Bentro meets you. Says, I've spoken with the higher-ups, and they're willing to extend Melissa an invitation to work for the agency and pay for her revival. Good job. Very impressed.
I want to come out the restaurant eating a hot dog.
All in a day's work.
You know, they're yokais, but they make pretty good food.
Yeah, and I think that will be the end of that for tonight. And that was awesome, Cody.
That was dope as hell.
Thank you. I'm glad y'all had a good time.
Big fan.
Yeah. Hopefully we played it relatively how it should be. I'm not exactly sure.
You guys threw some curveballs my way, but they were awesome.
I felt like we really lived up to the first Shadowscar that he was talking about. How they were like, no witnesses, still succeed.
Yeah. No, but that was great. And I'm definitely excited for the core book to come out. Can't wait to hear about that. Maybe we'll even see you again at Gen Con.
Absolutely will.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on. And before everything closes out, do you have anything else that you would like to plug?
I think I've done all my plugs for Shadowscar. So that is my big project at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. And it has been great. And once again, thank you for coming on and even doing this with us.
Of course. I was happy to do it.
We appreciate you so much. I just have one question / favor to ask.
Yeah.
If you're ever in the Cleveland area, come look us up and play D&D with us, or Shadowscar. We can play any type of tabletop role playing game, but please come join us.
Yeah,
have fun with us.
If you're ever in the Cleveland area, let us know.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you for coming on, and everybody, thank you for listening. And we can't wait to hear more about Shadowscar. That being said, I believe that's everything. Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
This was a Clash of Krits podcast. Theme song done by Shanovis, with additional music done by Hybrid Punk. If you enjoyed our show, please give us a rating. See you in the next episode.